Hello everyone, and welcome out to the Dice Tower. My name is Chris Yee, and I am here by myself. I'm not joined by anybody whatsoever. Galactus is very camera shy. He would really appreciate it if you did not mention him in the comments below. That would be greatly appreciated. Just pretend he's not here whatsoever. I, folks, am going to be going through this massive pile of small games, a lot of card games, a lot of trick-taking, a lot of not trick-taking. So let's go ahead and get started. Don't mention Galactus. I'm going to be trying to go through these as fast as I can, but there's just a ton of these, so I'm going to be going through them quick. No fancy pictures and stuff of everything. You just have to take my word on these games here.
Seriously, I am very camera shy. Do not mention me.
I'm just going to go ahead and start off with Vivo. This is a game that already has been reviewed by Mike on the channel, the original Vic Village printing of it. Well, All Play has a version of it now in this tiny box game. They made it smaller, more accessible. This is a wonderful trick-taking game where there's a nice central gimmick where every round it changes whether players have to play the same color card or two different ones, or all four of them have to be played into a single trick. And it really mitigates having a lower or a middling hand, because not only does the highest card win a trick, the lowest card also wins it. And in fact, if the lowest card played into a trick is a 6, that's worth 6 points right there. Highest cards are only worth 2 points. So playing low is really great. But you also want to play enough high cards to win. So, new artwork. I like the original cover just a tad bit more, but I love the box size, and I love the fact that this is available. This is an 8.5. I think this is an excellent trick-taking game that you should have in your collection. I have not thought this through. I am now throwing games on the floor. Let's go to the next one here. Alibaba and the 40 Thieves. An interesting push your luck game, but not interesting enough. I wish I liked this one more. The longer you stay in, the more you push your luck, the bigger rewards you get from this kind of like clock face out there. And if you're just kind of a weird player position, then you won't get as good of a thing. But it has some fun little swings here in luck, and it can be kind of funny. I wish it was just a little bit more bombastic, but I like it's a 6 from me. This is the favorite game I've played from this company's Silly Potty Games. Next up, Happy Mochi. This is, well, if you look at this, it comes on the little, hanging thing here. There's so many terrible games that look adorable like this. This one's actually a good one. I'm really happy to say that. This is a 7 out of 10 for me. Happy Mochi, where you're playing 2 cards next to each other. Can't rearrange your hand. Some people hate that rule. But a 6 and a 2 played out become a 62. The 2, then the 9 become a 29. You're trying to play higher or lower than the current 2-digit number. You can always play pairs. Certain cards flip things over. There's some funny little effects. It's not a deep game, but it's good enough. And for a game that looks like this, that kids are going to love and fall in love with, this is what I am recommending, 7 out of 10, saying that, hey, this is one parents will have fun with playing, and it'll bright and vibrant, will get kids into it. That's Happy Mochi. Robotrick, one of the most brilliant trick-taking games I've ever seen. 3 human players are playing against the robot. Some people call him Robot Rick. The cover kind of looks like. Anyway, Robotrick, you are, there's this interesting thing where you're playing against the other players, but also you're playing against this one automated opponent whose cards are face up, and he has this little algorithm that he follows. So what does he do when he can't follow? When he does follow, what does he do when he leads? And it's fun to be able to change that out each game or every round, and you're kind of mostly scoring against it. It has some tight scoring. I really love this one. Really recommend it. This might be one of my favorites. I'm going to give this one a 9. I think that this is one of the coolest, smartest trick-taking games out there, Robotrick. Next up, Tango. This is another trick-taking game exclusively for 2 players, and this is from Grail Games. I think that this one is neat. Matt Sims, David Harding, the designers. David Harding being Phil Walker Harding's brother, owner of Grail Games. All that tangent aside, hey, it takes 2 to tango, so it's a 2-player only trick-taking game. This is one where you have half the cards in your hand, half the cards face up on the table. You take turns playing cards from hand and from the table, 4 cards into a trick, and it has some nice little scoring on the cards itself. I like it, 7.5. I would recommend this one if you're in the market for a good, solid 2-player trick-taker. Also from the same company, same line of games here, this little pull-out thing, Farmhand. Farmhand is another trick-taking game that has uneven distribution of suits. You're bidding for a target rather than cards having an intrinsic point value like in Tango. And I think this one has a very clean little system to it. You can see the backs of cards, you see what suits they are. It tells you, you have a reference of what the uneven distribution of cards is. This suit only has one card and it's a 6. This one has a 2 and a 7. This one has a 1, 4, 7. So I think it leads to some cool choices, but and you're doing the Skull King kind of like each round you get more cards dealt out. I like it. It's a 6.5 for me. I'm just shy of recommending it. I feel like you can kind of get into an endgame scoring where you're just trying to break that tie round after round. But if that doesn't happen, then it sits right in the right time length. So Farmhand, it's cute and I like it, 6.5. Fibonaccios. This is a trick taker that deals with the Fibonacci sequence of numbers. So 1, 2, 3, 5, 7. And it's this thing where you're trying to win a certain number of points based on however many points you win is what you get. But if you land on a Fibonacci number, then you get the next largest Fibonacci number. That's a funny gimmick. So it's fine. If you get 8, you actually get 12. It's almost a little bit more than it's worth explaining, and I think that the game feels random. And the scoring card, each round you flip over a new card is how many points you're going for. And the Trump suit is an odd thing to explain. So it's okay. I wish it has a lot of rules for the fact that it feels kind of chaotic, but not zany chaotic. I wish it was funnier or more strategic. So 6 for Fibonaccios. No Mercy. This is a wonderful push your luck game. You're simply flipping over cards until you stop. And you also can steal the card. If you flip over an 8 and someone else has 8s in front of them, you can steal those 8s from them. It has this really funny, it's delightful, right? This was reprinted in the Magenta CMYK games line as Fruit Fight, and I thought that was stupid and I hated it. I really like No Mercy. I'm giving this one an 8. I think that with the funny Western theme, the little take that feeling of it fits perfectly, so I love that one. We Need to Talk is a mix between a card shedding game and a trick taking game. You play one in the first round and then you play a different game in the second round, and each one feeds into the other. I think that's really neat. I actually am charmed by the very simple artwork here. There is one slightly inappropriate card very inappropriate card in the romance or the love suit. I'll leave that to your imagination. I wish it didn't have that. I like this game, and that doesn't even affect my score. I like this game, but it's quite a bit of rules because it's card shedding one round, trick taking the next. And like I said, each one feeds into each other very cleverly, but it's a funky game at the same time. It's a 6.5 for me, but I can see some other people really adoring that mix of two different halves of a game into each other. And I think that it's pretty smart at the same time. So 6.5 for me. Next up, Point Galaxy. This is from AEG and Flat Out Games. I think that this is a not as good version of Point Salad, but better than Point City. That's kind of where I rank them. This one's a 7. I like it. I like that idea of trying to get the different suns and with planets and moons and stuff that kind of score for them. It's far simpler than Point City, less upkeep and stuff. And I like this one, but I'll always come back to the original Point Salad, I think, the most. Tricky Kids! Tricky Kids! I always want to say this one like I'm saying Funky Crime by the Red Hot Chili Peppers. Tricky Kids is another trick-taking game, unsurprisingly. You are dealt a bunch of blank cards in 3 different suits, and then you take a dry erase marker and you write on them what numbers you want, and you create that. It doesn't really have the problem of smudging. Some people have that issue. I don't. Once you fan out the cards, never bunch them together. Just keep them fanned out. I really love that gimmick. Your numbers have to add up to 21, I think it is, in a normal game, and there's event cards that can shake things and change things up. I love that part of it. I think that the scoring part is kind of the weaker part. You have a lineup of tiles, and each trick, the first trick, you win this tile, the second one, this one, third, this fourth, down the line. And I think people's biggest complaint is going to be that you don't have as much control. Oh, when do you take control so that you can lead and you can determine what color's winning the trick so that you can win that tile with that color? And I think that there's ways you could have made this a more robust, really thinky trick taker, and that's clearly not what they're going for with the adorable stuffed animal axolotl on the cover. They're going for something simpler. Most of the game takes place as you're writing the numbers in your hand. I would say that that's like 85% of the game, and then 15% of the game is the card play. Most of it is just in that first part. So Tricky Kids, I still really like it. 7.5 from me. I enjoy that a lot, but just know what you're getting into. The game has the word kids in the title, but it's better than you might think, but but it's simpler than you might think. Anyway, Tricky Kids, 7.5.
Do not mention the excellent detailed paint job on the base and my boots.
Next up, Take Time. This is an interesting cooperative game where you're playing cards face down around this clock, and then you're trying to make them increase in total value, but also follow other rules. I think that this has a beautiful production, gorgeous production, and I think that the game itself is simple, but people can click with it pretty quick. Rules-wise, simple. How to play it out, difficult, and I think that that's neat if you want something that's a little bit like The Mind, if you remember that game where like you can't communicate per se, but you're trying to read based on how players play cards out, then this is going to be a cool one for you, but in a co-op setting. I think some shuffles, some deals of some hands of this are going to be unwinnable based on the conditions on the clock, but then you just shuffle them up. Each round is like super, super short, so just try it again. And it's that kind of game. So it's a 7 from me. I wish I liked this one a little bit more, perhaps, but I think it's solid. Next up, Beaver House. This is from Korea Board Games, a competitive game where you're trying to flip over tiles. You're trying to arrange tiles in a way really quick to match a card. It's okay. It's one of the cutest games I've ever seen. I wish I loved the game because this beaver art on here is fantastic. So it's a 6 from me. I would play it again as like a kid's speed game. I wish I loved it because of how much I love the art. Sir Ocelot's Cave. I love the 2-player line of games from Lookout. Unfortunately, I really don't like this one. I think that has some clever ideas. You're playing your pieces around the outside of a cave system, and then where those different pieces intersect, you're going to score tiles. It might remind you a little bit of Targi. Let that comparison die right now. This is unfortunately far more clunky and visually a mess because you have to make an intersection of 3 different types of pieces. You're playing around the outside, and several turns later you might look back and say, oh, I forgot to grab this tile earlier. Sorry. Oh, that it affected your last turn. Ugh. I've played this on Board Game Arena, and I've played it in person. It's better on Board Game Arena. So if you like it there, I would recommend just sticking with it there. I wish I liked this one. It's a 5 for me, in part just because of the visual upkeep, and in part because I don't think that the actual scoring of it's that exciting either. So, 5. Chu Han, a phenomenal 2-player card shedding game. I really like the distribution of the cards in this deck here. There's more 1s than 2s than 3s than all the way up. So it's easier to play lots of a lower number, 4 of a kind of 1s, but then someone can play a 4 of a kind of 5s, and they shedded a higher compilation of cards than you. So you're like, oh man, but I'm glad I played out those lower ones. But it's nice to save them for later, but it's better to play them out earlier if you can kind of maintain lead. There's a few special powers in here. There's actually a cancel card. I should really hate that. And then funnily enough, there's a special power cancel your cancel card. And so there's things in here that I almost shouldn't like, but I think that everything all together, this is wonderful. I really like it. It's an 8 out of 10 for me. If you're looking for a 2-player specific card shedding game, Chu Han is one that you should check out. Garam. This is a 4 for me. This is a game from India. I wish I loved this, right? It has an interesting, simple market kind of a game. Every round you're just buying some things from the market, and then you make tea. And it reminds me almost of like a simplified Distilled, but I would 10 times recommend you play Distilled instead of this. Yeah, this is a little bit simpler, but also the rules are clunkier, and it becomes uninteresting. You're very much doing rinse and repeat by the time you get to the second half of the game. Wish I loved this one, but I'm going to look out for more stuff from Mosaic Games still. I like seeing stuff come out of India. Unfortunately, this one for me, 4 out of 10. Let's go to the next deck. Pipoca. This is from Brazil, Arthur Lacerda, a different Lacerda designer. Another 2-player card shedding game. And I love the theme, the presentation, the popcorn of this. And what's happening is you have cards that, unlike Scout and unlike some games where they have like 2 values on them, they have 4 values. They have a front side, an upside down, flip it around, and then turn it upside down again. And so as you lose, as you play cards out, as the other opponent plays higher than you, you take those cards back in hand, but you pop them. Because like popcorn in the microwave or in the air fryer thing, like they're getting popped bigger and bigger. I love the artwork, the theming of this, and eventually you're trying to empty your hand of cards first. It has a great little play to it. I think that this is wonderful. It's an 8 for me. I think that it's simple and yet so just joyful to be like, oh, I lost that bout, but my popcorn's popping. Love it. All right, Banana Boy versus Uni-Cone. Yes, it's called that. Banana Boy versus Uni-Cone. This is not a speed game, but it's like a memory game, and you flip cards over, and you're trying to make matches. You're trying to get both bananas, or both unicorns, or both of something. Or if you don't get that, you're at least trying to give them the same color background, and then you can collect cards. And so, yeah, it's memory. It sounds like it's going to be terrible, but it's actually pretty funny. And yeah, for a game that looks like this, for a game that's named this, you might think awful things. I found it to be fun. Every group I've played this with has enjoyed it. It's a 6.5 for me. It's not a blanket recommendation kind of a game, but if you're looking for a game that's gonna surprise people and be better than you would think it is, Banana Boy versus Uni-Cone. I could recommend that for that specific reach here. Let's go to Park Life. There's a few different editions. This happens to be the Pocket Edition, People Edition, Pocket Size, Park Life. There's a few different. One of them comes as a stuffed animal. Anyway, all of that to say, this is a may follow trick-taking game. What does that mean? That means you play out a card, and everyone else can play the same suit or not. It's up to them. But the scoring implications of this are great. I really like it. Highest number of the lead suit wins, but you might intentionally you could play a matching suit, but you don't right now, or in hopes of being able to score big later. As you win a trick, the card that you win with, you get to collect, but then also, as highest or lowest, I might have said it wrong. But the card that you win with it's lowest. The card that you win with is going to say a certain number of cards you have to discard. So unlike a lot of trick-taking games, this one has this weird hand management feel where, like, yeah, you might have won a pretty good card, but it's going to force you to get rid of more cards from your hand, so people go out at different times. It's really pleasant. It's really surprising how good this is. I'm giving this one an 8.5. I think this is an incredibly good, feels different from every other trick taker that I've played. I think it's one that the designers should feel very proud of, that they've done something that has really impressed me. So 8.5 for me for Park Life.
I don't actually know what I'm doing here. I'm putting my hand on this pillar for like stability. I'm a planet-eating deity, eternal. I shouldn't need to stabilize myself. Maybe it's a pressure cooker.
Next up here is going to be Petiquette. This is from Oink Games, and this is a weird one where there's dogs in hats, and geese and cats in hats, and there's hats, and there's animals wearing hats. But the idea of this one being that there's a sequence of cards played out. One of the cards in that sequence is a blank card, and everyone has this ability to kind of, you can play a cat, dog, or goose, or something, whatever the three animals are. You can give them a different color and a different type of hat, and you're trying to play something that you think matches into that sequence. And if you match with players, then you get points, and the points increase each round. It's fine. It's funny. Sometimes it's funny. We're like, oh man, I got the same thing you did, or oh man, everyone should have thought clearly like I did. It's a more restrictive version of games like Green Team Wins, that type of stuff, where you're using card manipulation to kind of guess what everyone else is going to guess. If it was funnier, I would like it more. For me, it's a 6. I think it's clever. I think it's cute. And if you want a weirdo game about dogs and hats and cats and hats, then Petiquette. Jellyfish, Toast, and Jam. This is from the people that made Taco Cat Goat Cheese Pizza. Jellyfish, Toast, and Jam doesn't roll off the tongue as well, but it still does. And so it's this idea where you're trying to flip over cards from a deck and create 3 of a kind in front of you, and you can steal cards from other players, little things like that. You can lock down your cards so other players can't steal them. It's very cute. My daughter enjoyed it, especially because like all the very adorable artwork. This one is a 6 for me, where I think you're primarily going to play this for kids or for people who aren't gamers per se, and it's something that everyone can kind of play and laugh at, and they have different versions of the cats, and the toast is really cute, and it's not a terrible game. It's not a bad game. It's a 6 out of 10 for me. I think that it's a game that I'm not recommending it. Happy Mochi is a better game that does the same type of appeal for kids and for everyone, and this one's okay. So 6 out of 10. Next up, Bottle Imp. This is a trick-taking game from Grail Games as well, especially for 3 players. Other player counts work, but I find 3 players just kind of the tightest. It's really neat because you want to try to play below a certain threshold card, and it's really so. If like the current threshold is like 17, if everyone plays above 17, then the highest wins. But if you are the only player to play below 17, then it's the highest underneath 17. It's got a couple of nice little wrinkles to it. Beautiful production. This is an older game that's been around a long time. This is a great version of it. I'm giving Bottle Imp an 8, especially this printing that I think looks great. Has cool kind of acrylic pieces and stuff to represent the bottle. I like it a lot. Trickarus is another trick-taking game. Another one I'm giving an 8. This one did not impress me at first because it has a very similar scoring to another trick-taker I love called Schadenfreude, where in this one you're trying to fly close to the sun. But if you fly too close, you fall to the ground. That triggers the end of the game. You finish playing that hand, and then whoever is highest to the sun when that hand empties is the winner. And I've seen it where the person who like flies up there hits the ground and then starts flying back up, and they could win it. And I like that little change up. That is a change from Schadenfreude, where whoever is eliminated is just eliminated. It took me a bit to appreciate. There's just a few special powers in this game. You leapfrog past people on the score track, so someone who's comfortably behind might accidentally zoot up too far, and fly into the sun. There's good stuff in here. The card quality, not good stuff, but everything else about it, I like. So an 8 out of 10. Frying Master from Taiwan Board Game Design. This is a card flipping game, or you use a card to flip over tokens. It's your frying pan, or it's like your spatula. And I think that it's stupid, it's silly, it's a single note type of a game. Try to flip over things and get the right ingredients for your recipes. I like it. It's a 7 out of 10. Need I say more? You probably already know whether you're going to like it or not, but I think it has just enough going on in it that, yeah, it works as a speed game. 7. Golem It. This is a plate reprint of an older game I believe is called Chip It, where you're trying to empty out your hand of cards. You play out cards, and you're also going to collect tokens. And these tokens that you collect can actually upgrade cards. So like Pipoca and some of the other card games mentioned, actually like Quattro coming up here, there's a lot of games where you can flip cards around, you can upgrade them, you can make them what you want them to be. This one has a clever method where the card has 3 values on it, and so the more chips you play onto it, you're actually, or the chips, anyway, the skinny of it is as you play chips onto cards, you're changing the value of it without getting too much into the weeds. So you can kind of level up your cards, and I like that a lot. And you have to both empty your chips and your cards to go out. I think this is great. Cute artwork. I'll give this one a 7.5. I like Golem It. Quattro. This is a good card shedding game. This is from Brazil, the same company that did Dobro. And I think that with Quattro, it's simpler. Dobro was more of like a Uno type game. This is a card shedder wherein your cards have 2 sides to them. You can flip them, right? When you can't play, when you have to pass, you can rotate a card, or you can draw a new card and add it into your hand. And that very, very simple system, I think, makes this a good one. It's a 7 out of 10 for me. Recommending if you can find this one and you like a simple game that has some good choices to it, Quattro. It's good. Oh, and 4 fours is the highest. That's like playing a bomb, getting in there. Wordsy is a word game. This is originally from Gil Hova's company, Formal Ferret. All Play has now picked it up. In this game, you're playing out you put out a grid of 8 letters, and then you try to come up with a word that uses as many of those letters as possible. The fastest person to do it can get a little bonus, or if you get a better word than the fastest person, then you get the bonus instead. You wipe 4 of the letters, put out 4 new ones, everything slides down, so they're worth different values. It's good. I like word games, and this is one that's completely inoffensive, and I think everyone can understand it, but it's also not special, per se. So, score-wise, it's hard. It's 6.5, right? I'm just shy of blanket recommending it because there's so many good word games out there, and I think that this one is fun. I think this one is nice and pleasant, but there's other ones that I would gravitate towards first, but it's still good, 6.5. Venture Angels. This is from Gamehead. This is an older Bruno Faiduti game. This is a newer printing of it, wherein there's a couple of tokens out there. It's almost like a share, like a stock market manipulation, bidding kind of a game, more than manipulation. And you don't want to, like, if you have the majority under a token, you can win it, but the one that has the most pumped into it won't get one, but if you're below it, then you don't win it. It's good, but it's not great, and there's too little happening in it, I think, right? You might at the end of the game score 2 tokens. You're like, oh, I got 9 points, and the person who won got like 11 points. So I think I wish that it had a little more zim and zang to it, right? A little more, but it's okay. So it's a 6 from me, Venture Angels. Botswana. The good Dr. Rainer Knizia came up with a game or two. This is a reprint of an older game. It's been around for decades, and the 25th century reprint is gorgeous. I really like the way that it looks. I really like the way that the cards, art, and the meeples and everything. So having a great production of an already classic game is a winning combination, and 25th Century has done that multiple times now with Knizia games, and I'm looking forward to seeing more of their stuff. But this one here is an 8 out of 10 for me. There are games that are fine, and then there's games that have a lot of tension, and those games that are really tense, that's when I love it. Playing out cards when all 6 of an animal card have been played, whatever current number of face up of each of those cards is how many points each animal token is worth. You play a card, grab an animal token, and that's it. Simple game. Like the rules are like 3 sentences, and it still is that tense and good. An 8 out of 10 for Botswana. Pillars of Fate. This is from Ivy Studio, one of their small games here. And this is a lane battler. I like lane battlers. Now, what's weird about this is that you don't even know the value of what you're playing for, because like the Veiled Fate games, you can make things feathers or scorpion tails, positives or negatives. And sometimes the positives and the negatives are swapped. And so not only are the feathers and the scorpion tails going to determine whether it's positive or negative, then the numbers that you play there also determine who wins it. So you might win it, but it might be negative, or I might win it, but it might be positive, but I might win it, but it might be negative. It's almost, but not there. It's almost a little too much going on. And I like my lane battlers to have some nice wrinkles to them. So I'm giving this one a 7. And I think that it has just enough cool little special powers going on in it without being too much. But yeah, it's a good one, and it's one that I'm happy to pull out. So 7 out of 10 recommending Pillars of Fate. Beasts. This is a weird cooperative game. You're playing cards out, and you're trying to slowly increase the 3-digit number so that everyone can play out their cards. At the end, you want to have the highest 3-digit number possible. There's a little system where once you play into the 10s column, then you can wipe all the numbers in the 1s column. So you can slow roll it. The beasts come out and they kind of clog up and they prevent you from playing certain suits into certain areas. The biggest issue I have with this is that there are 8 suits in the game, which are hearts, clubs, spades, and diamonds. And then there's the other 4 suits, which are broken clubs, broken spades, broken diamonds. And why did they not just come up with 8 more suits? Because they have no relation to each other. I've checked the rulebook multiple times, and people play a club, and they're like, oh, you can't play that. That's a broken club. You need to play clubs right now. And it aggravates every single person. I find that to be such a terrible decision. The way that they distinguished the two is not good enough. So a game that I would rate higher, I would give this one a 7 still. I think it's an interesting cooperative puzzle. I like Beasts. Fritanga. This is from Devere, one of their medium small box card games, and this is awful. It's awful. It's really awful. It's awful. It's awful. Man, I really don't like this one, unfortunately. I was really hoping to. The art on it is hilarious. The theme of it, as you're running around trying not to fall into a fryer, it's so random. It's so random whether you fall into the fryer, but you might save your life, or you might not. And the cards, and there's so much setup for such an uninteresting game, unfortunately. Fritanga, I'm giving a 4. I am not recommending this one. I recommend you avoid it. So, unfortunate on that. But the last game here is Movie Tricks. This is from Chili Fox Games. This might get some of these might get fuller reviews later on in the week or on another week. This is one I hope does. This is a cool trick-taking game. Great theme where you're making movies. And while this is trick-taking, everyone will collect a card at the end of each trick. So if you play the best cards, you get to pick first. And then the cards played go into the middle, become the new prize pool for the next round. I like that little system. And what you're doing is you're actually doing like set collection tableau building in front of you from the cards that you collect. And I think that's a great little system. It feels like it could be a good game even without the trick taking, and with the trick taking, I think it still is very good. And so simply the idea of trying to get lots of things across and lots of things down and lots of different icons in one category and having the most in a different category. There's 4 columns and they each have different little set collection minigame rules to them. It's almost a bit too much. It's a lot that you front load, and yet if it's worth it to you, I think that the gameplay out of this is very good. For right now, I'm giving this one an 8 out of 10. I think this is a cool one, and I think that more people should check it out. If you like that idea of mixing trick-taking with this kind of sprawling combo collection of stuff. Not combo actions, but like scoring combinations. So movie tricks, an 8 from me. Folks, have you done it? Have you not mentioned Galactus in the comments? He would really appreciate that, like I said. Thanks for sticking with me through all of these games here. I hope that was enjoyable for you, and maybe you found some cool things that you'll be picking up and some things that you'll be avoiding. I'm tired, folks. I'm Chris Yee. Thanks for coming out to this pile of games review with me. I'm the Dice Tower. I'll see you next time.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching another video from the Dice Tower. Hey, you want to learn more about us, communicate with us? We have a Facebook group, we have a Discord channel, lots of different ways to get involved with the Dice Tower. You can find that in our Linktree link below. So just click that, it will take you and you can communicate with us on Facebook, join our Facebook groups. There's lots of cool things that you can find and become part of the Dice Tower. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Tom Bassett.